back into my device. So hang on just a second. Good evening. Welcome to the Gresham-Barlow Board of Education, Wednesday, April 2nd, regular board business meeting. Roll call. In attendance, Chris Howitt. I'm really loud. Chris Howitt, Chair. Holly Riegelman, Vice Chair. Blake Peterson, Director. David Ligatich, Director. Absent is Dr. Myra Gomez. Present is Dr. Sean Farens. Interim Superintendent John Cook is here this evening, as is Deputy Superintendent Tracy Klinger. So with that, is someone going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Usually, Sean, you do that. Okay.
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Next up is approval of the meeting agenda. And I do not believe at this point we have anything that is being adjusted or moved on the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda.
All right.
Second.
Been moved by Blake, seconded by David to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. We have an agenda. We typically read the land acknowledgement as part of our board meeting. We acknowledge that the land where Gresham-Barlow School District is located rests on the ancestral and unceded lands of the Multnomah, Cathlamet, Clackamas, Tualatin, Kalapuya, Molalla, bands of the Chinook, and many other tribes who made their homes along the Columbia River. We also acknowledge the systemic policies of genocide, relocation, and assimilation that still impact many Indigenous and Native American families today. As settlers and guests on this land, we respect the work of Native nations, leaders, and families, and make ongoing efforts to center Indigenous knowledge, creativity, resilience, and resistance. We consider the many legacies of violence, displacement, migration, and settlement that brings us here today. This evening so far, we have received, we're on a citizens request of the board section. We've received one person, and this is an opportunity for the board to listen and learn from the community. Board members are not able to respond to public comments during the meeting, but appreciate hearing your input. Public comments can be submitted either ahead of time or in person. I have one. If there are any others, I need them within the next few minutes for them to be included on this agenda. And if you are a member of the community, wish to provide it, there's citizen request to the board that look like this, yellow form. And if you have written material, that will need to be given to our board secretary, Sarah Avery, and this will be recorded as part of the regular meeting. So we do have one person in person, and then we had another comment that was submitted ahead of time by Bill Martin that it is in the public record. So this evening we have Jeremiah Hickman, if you would come down to the front, and I realize we have new desks down there. I just noticed that. So about 3 to 5 minutes.
Perfect.
So perfect.
Try not to blow you away with the volume here. My name is Jeremiah Hickman. I'm a teacher and the OST coordinator or athletic coordinator at Dux McCarty Middle School. And I just felt like it would be falling short of my duties if I didn't make it out to try to express my hope that we can continue to offer middle school sports programs even during this difficult time. I've been working on this for about 2 weeks. Probably looks like chicken scratch from a distance, but I think it's some good input that hopefully you guys can remember and keep in mind. And I just hope I'm not too late on what we're able to do as a district. So with the budget concerns we are facing, it is understandable that we may have to change what is being offered in regards to sports programs at the middle school level. But I'm here for us to ask to look at alternatives rather than completely shutting down middle school sports. Middle school sports provides opportunities to learn teamwork in a structured learning environment that only adds to the structured learning that students are trying to get in the classroom. Not to mention the benefits of the fitness and the, healthy living styles and the activities that kids really need to be participating in more and more. We know that sports programs from a young age help to develop skills for successful adult living. One of the biggest things I've seen in my building, and I think teachers and administrators in all of our buildings would say that middle school sports builds community across the many socioeconomic lines and the variety of ethnic backgrounds that make up our buildings in regards to students. This year, and really over the last 3 to 4 years, we've seen significant increases in students coming out to participate in volleyball. We had 65 kids, 4 teams, 65 kids in the fall participating in volleyball. That was a large increase from last year. We didn't offer it the year before. Girls basketball this year, we had 4 teams for girls basketball, which is an increase over last year. Right now, our track and field program that just started up this week, we're sitting at 68 students participating. That is also an increase from every year previously since we were last, unfortunately, with the COVID shutdown, having to stop middle school sports. So kids are getting more into that routine of coming out and participating. And I just hope we can keep that moving forward and keep that going. Here's another thought. Imagine on a weekly basis, 100, 200. Next Thursday at Dexter McCarty, I'm gonna put money down that we'll have 500 people at the school building for a sporting event. There are very few middle school activities that pull in community like that. We've had volleyball games in our small gym with 225 people, participants, parents, coaches there to encourage these kids. And I just think there's so much value in having these programs that allow that many community members to come in and see what's happening. One thing I do want to mention, please know that cutting the programs completely will have a greater negative effect on the Gresham High School community. Those schools that feed into Gresham High School, many more students in those schools lack the means to participate in private club sporting programs. Whether it's their socioeconomic level, whether it's do they have a parent available to drive them a greater distance to private, sports programs. If we completely cut middle school sports in all our buildings, what we're going to see is Gresham High School lacking in students that are prepared, ready, and willing to test themselves on the sports fields. We've seen that the last decade. Gresham High School girls soccer has to work extra hard every year to get 30 girls to come out. Other schools in the area, 60 girls coming out. No issue building 2 teams. I'm sure you're aware Gresham High School football program's been struggling for years and is dropping down in a classification most likely. Our baseball program at Gresham High School is struggling to field teams. Our softball program at Gresham High School has struggled to field teams. Even worked with David Douglas students who did not have a team to play on, but brought them to Gresham to help fill our team so that we were able to provide a program. Middle school sports develop confidence so that kids are willing to try those programs when they get to the high school level. Please don't forget that those learning environments, those practices, that ability to compete at the middle school level focuses students' ability to learn, develop teamwork, create confidence and success that we end up seeing both in the sporting arenas at the high school level, as well as in the classroom at the high school level. So I just hope that we can all work together. I'm willing to work extra to look at a variety of ways that middle school sports can continue to be offered, even if it's not offered at the level that we're able to do this year. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And go ahead and turn off your microphone for me.
Oh, yeah.
I would bring to attention as well, thank you very much for being here this evening. We do have our first budget meeting on April 9th. That's going to be at Cal at the Partnership Room, and I'll mention this again at the end, as well as the second meeting on April 23rd. And comments related to the budget is especially where those comments need to be made. That will be where the full budget committee will be, which is all of the board members plus 7 members of the community. We will get the budget information, and that's where we would like to hear conversation about things of what you just talked about, the importance of that, so that the whole budget committee can hear that. So that meeting again will be on April 9th at the Cal Partnership. And is that at 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock? Okay. So that's a couple of opportunities there. And you can watch that virtually as well. I don't know that we really have participation virtually or not. We had not done that on a regular basis, but we could on that night as well. So we'll make sure and keep that in mind. So, all right. So with that, we will move on to our next item, which is to approve the consent agenda. The consent agenda is approved with one motion. There's no discussion of any of the items unless a board member requests one of the items to be removed. It includes the minutes from the strategic planning retreat, February 28th, minutes from the supplemental budget hearing on March 5th, minutes from the regular business meeting on March 5th, minutes from the regular work session on March 12th, minutes from Budget 101 on March 19th, the financial report as of the end of February, personnel report, employee contracts, policy update. So with that, if there is a motion to approve the consent agenda, or does anyone need to pull anything out of it?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Been moved by Blake, seconded by Sean to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you. Next up is we have a couple of resolutions, appreciation weeks, and I don't remember who was reading which one. We have two. We have volunteer appreciation and we have teacher appreciation. And so I think in format, if we would, because we're always trying to figure out how to do this, we want to approve it first and then have you read it, or do you want to? Okay. All right. So do you want to go ahead and give me a motion to approve?
I'll move to ratify the resolution recognizing April 21st through 25th, 2025 as Volunteer Appreciation Week in the district.
Been moved by Blake, seconded by Holly to ratify the resolution recognizing April 21 to 25 as Volunteer Appreciation Week. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Blake, if you would read that for us.
Resolution declaring April 21 through 25, 2025 Volunteer Appreciation Week in the Gresham-Barlow School District. Whereas our community's young people are our most valuable resource, and whereas students in Gresham-Barlow schools are the key to our community's future, and whereas the education of the district students is best achieved through the combined efforts of staff members and community members alike, and whereas volunteers from the community who work in the schools are critical to the success achieved by the district students, and whereas volunteer efforts enrich learning experiences beyond what are normally available for students, and whereas volunteers extend the district's financial resources by assisting staff, therefore be it resolved that the week of April 21st through 25th, 2025 be established as Volunteer Appreciation Week in the Gresham-Barlow School District, and be it further resolved that the Board of Directors endorses and supports the efforts of the schools to recognize the efforts of volunteers during that week and at other times during the school year.
Thank you. And just recognizing as well that we have volunteers in many areas. In addition to our usual school level volunteers, we offer opportunities for OASIS and SMART programs, and we value and appreciate our volunteers. Next up then is teacher appreciation. And Holly, if let me get to that page.
I move to ratify the resolution recognizing May 5th through 9th, 2025 as Teacher Appreciation Week in the district.
Second.
Moved by Holly, seconded by David to ratify the resolution recognizing May 5th through 9th, 2025 as Teacher Appreciation Week. Do you want to go ahead and read it? Or let me do the explanation a little bit first. As this has been designated as Teacher Appreciation Week, it's appropriate that the board acknowledge the importance of a strong local school system and the contribution teachers make to that system. And Holly will read the resolution.
Whereas teachers make public schools great, and whereas teachers work to open students' minds to ideas, knowledge, and dreams, and whereas teachers keep American democracy alive by laying the foundation for good citizenship, and whereas teachers fill many roles as listeners, explorers, role models, motivators, and mentors, and whereas teachers continue to influence us long after our school days are only memories. Now therefore, we, the members of the Board of Directors for the Gresham-Barlow School District, hereby declare our appreciation to our teaching staff and acknowledge May 5th through 9th, 2025 to be Teacher Appreciation Week. Be it further resolved that we urge administrators, teachers, parents, students, and others from our community to join us in recognizing the dedication and hard work of these individuals. By resolution of the Board of Directors, this second day of April, 2025.
Thank you. Next up, we have the reason for
Chair
why.
Howitt,
Yes,
you
yes, yes.
still have a motion on the table that you have not.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Not
all
yet.
those, I thought I'd said that. Did we not vote on it? Thank you. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Any opposed? Thank you. That's why I have you here. Thank you. Yeah, making all my notes. Because I was just wanting to get to the recognition part. I was just excited about that part. Yeah, absolutely. So, this looks like Sam Barlow night, right? I mean, there's a lot of yay, class of a while ago. All right, I'm proud of it. Class of 79. Thank you very much. So we have several, and we do this to recognize students who have achieved highly in school activities and academic programs. I believe Jason Bear is going to come down, and previously we've had the students come up so that they can do the walk. We shake their hand. I don't believe we have certificates for them, do we? No, okay. So we'll just cheer and carry on and shake hands and do a photo op. So Jason,
Outstanding.
I will let you take it over. First one up is swimming.
Alrighty, thank you, Board Chair Howard and Directors and Superintendent Cook. Thanks for having us. Jason Bear, proud principal, San Barlow High School. I get to brag on some Bruins this evening, which is always a great thing. In an effort to recognize students who achieve highly in school activities and academic programs, tonight the board has the opportunity to recognize conference and state level achievements of San Barlow High School boys swimming athletes. In February, the Mountain Conference hosted the district championship swim meet at David Douglas High School. Powell Jacob, Jr. at San Barlow High School, was the district champion in the 200 freestyle and 500 freestyle. He also competed in both events at the state meet and set new personal records in both races. Congratulations, Powell. Come on up. Yes. You want me to do her now or next? Coach Angie Miller was also named Mount Hood Conference Boys Swimming Coach of the Year. Congratulations, Angie. Come on up. Too tall, Powell. You got to get out of the light. Parents, if you want to come down and grab a picture, you can. Come on down. Come grab a picture. Absolutely. Sorry, come back. Don't be shy, parents. Jump right up there. Next up, we'd also like to recognize the wrestling team. The San Barlow wrestling program continued to grow this year. Girls wrestling had a strong season and sent 10 wrestlers to the regional tournament, with 5 qualifying to go on to state. The team finished second overall out of 25 teams at regionals. Taylor Ward, freshman, wrestling at 125 pounds, placed first in the special district regionals meet and took third at state. I don't believe Taylor is here. And Olivia Howell, senior, wrestling at 170 pounds, got first in the special district regionals meet as well. Congratulations, Taylor and Olivia. Again, I don't believe they're here. Boys wrestling continued their improvement and finished a close second in the Mount Hood Conference. At the district meet, the team also finished second, but had the most district champions with 4. Gavin Jacino, sophomore, at 106 pounds, was first in the Mount Hood Conference districts. Garrett Head, senior, at 120 pounds, was first in the Mount Hood Conference districts and placed 5th at state. Olin Story was a freshman at the 126-pound weight class, first in Mount Hood Conference districts and 5th in state. And Lath Quashbane, freshman, 165-pound boys, was first in the Mount Hood Conference districts. And Coach Rod Heiser was named the Mount Hood Conference Boys Wrestling Coach of the Year. Congratulations to those young men, and Coach Heiser, come on up if you're here. Next up, we are recognizing the boys. Something happened with boys basketball. I'm not quite sure. The boys basketball team we're recognizing. The San Barlow High School boys basketball team finished first in the league and ranked number 1 in state and won the 6A boys basketball state championship. Barlow had 3 first-team all-league players. Also, all 3 of them were first team at the state tournament as well. Jalen Atkins, senior, first team all Mount Hood Conference and all tournament first team at state. Mason Bierbauer, senior, first team all Mount Hood Conference and all tournament first team at state. And Braden Barron, senior, first team all Mount Conference and all tournament first team at state. And late breaking, we learned this afternoon that Coach Tom Johnson was named the OSAA State Boys Basketball Coach of the Year. And Jalen Atkin was named the OSAA Boys Basketball Player of the Year. So congratulations, Bruins. Come on up. Come on up, guys. Everybody up. Go get your picture. Congratulations, fellas. Next up, we will recognize San Barlow High School girls soccer. Senior Katya Tursik was selected as the first team all-state soccer player this past girls soccer season. I'm not sure if Katya is here. She is not, but congratulations, Katya. Next up, we will recognize San Barlow High School's racquetball team. The racquetball team competed at state January 29th through February 2nd at the Cascade Athletic Club. Juniors Olivia Riggs and Ariana Campbell were both selected for the all-state racquetball team. So congratulations to both of them, who I do not believe they are here either. No, congratulations to them. Finally, best for last, I think. We will recognize San Barlow High School dance team. The San Barlow High School dance team competed at the OSAA State Championships March 22nd. For the record, that's the first day of spring break, so that's a feat in and of itself. The team brought home a third-place trophy in the 6A Jazz division, and Brooke Renard was selected for the all-state team and awarded an academic scholarship. So congratulations to Coach Anderson and the dance team, who is, I think, are here. Come on up, ladies. No jazz hands, Superintendent Cook. Don't need it.
Right, so thank you. We're going to go ahead and take a brief 5-minute recess and allow our students to leave because I'm sure they got lots of homework to do tonight. Or you can stay. It's only going to be another 2 or 3 hours, but go ahead and you guys can leave. Thank you for coming tonight. Yep.
Running.
All right.
All right, we were back. Gresham-Barlow Board of Education, March date, no, April, wow. April 2nd board meeting. That's why I have to look it up. Yes. So next up is a report from the Gresham-Barlow Education Foundation. And I was informed that Cindy Mumford is here. All right, come on down. No, we are glad to see you. Thank you for being here tonight, Cindy. Thank you.
Good to see you guys too. Good evening. Thank you, Chair Howard, board members, Superintendent Cook. It's a pleasure for me to sit and give a little info on the foundation. But first of all, I have to say, if you were not at that championship game, it was awesome. So awesome. So if they're still here, congrats, guys. Our boys are proud alumni of the Barlow Bruin basketball team, and they flew in with their oldest boys to watch it. It was awesome. Just so awesome. Anyway, first of all, I have to tell you, get your calendars out. Monday, August the 18th is our foundation golf tournament. And we are, yes, it is great. And some of you may not know this, but John Cook and Tracy Klinger and Angela, they're scratch golfers. So you may not know that. They come, I know you don't, but if you can't play golf, it's fun. David came out last year with us for a little bit. It's just a fun event. So we invite you, even if you don't play golf, to come on out. We are having the AM and PM start times again this year, which has been very popular. So we're happy that Persimmon is still allowing us to do that because it makes it easy for people. Secondly, we're excited that we're working on a new website that's going to be a lot more user-friendly. And one of my favorite things is we are going to have online applications for teachers and classified anyone in the district can apply for a grant. And we're going to get that online to where they can fill their application out. It'll go directly to the principal. It's going to just make it a lot easier and hopefully directly to Dr. Klinger, who's our liaison right now and helps us look through those. So we're looking forward to that. So hopefully the next time we can say that's up and running, we hear that there's a draft that's about ready for us to look at. So that's very exciting. And my favorite thing to do is give out money. And so one of our most recent grants was we granted $3,350 for a grow tower. And if you're not familiar with those, it's literally one of the kind of hydroponic towers in the classroom. And the kids grow their own lettuce and all kinds of stuff. And then they get to eat it. And it's just a really great thing. A lot of them don't realize that the food doesn't just appear in the grocery store. It actually is grown. So we were glad to award that to Santiago, I'm sorry if I messed this name up, Keys, K-I-S, a fourth grade dual language teacher. So they're going to have one, so we're proud. And again, we hope and encourage everyone to apply for grants because it's our favorite thing to do is give out money and we have money to give out. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any questions for Cindy or David?
I
David, go
have
ahead.
two questions. One, I have it down at 6 to noon. What time does it start? The golf.
Well, the tea times are a little later than that, but if you'd like to help us set up, we're there at 6 a.m.
Set up.
Yeah, we're there at 6, but I think the first tea time, you guys helped me if you did morning 8. Yeah, that's what I thought. I think it's 8 and noon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second question. Do you guys do an auction or something there? I think you did last year.
We have auction items, yes. It's mostly a silent auction.
I'd like to donate a Michael Goddard painting, so just get with me later.
Okay,
Okay.
will do. Thank you very much. Thanks, you guys.
All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, so next up, we have updates from, I think, am I in the right place now? Oh, that's, well, no. Yeah, nope, yeah. Actually, it's update from superintendent and district, yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, so next up is update from superintendent district leadership report. Superintendent Cook.
Thank you, Chair. I want to go a little off script. First, Sarah appreciates that I do read from the script because apparently I speak too fast and that way she can include it in the meetings. I want that out there too. I also wanted, Jeremiah, I want to thank you very openly, like I did before. You always come with solutions, understanding the problem, recognizing challenge and willing to work. That is a great way to advocate. I appreciate that always. And we also, I was at East Orient earlier this week and Tia was really, really excited to be here because this is the best birthday present she could get. So I also want to congratulate Tia on her birthday on top of that. And we're really happy to accommodate your wishes. Okay. All right. On the serious note,
Thank you and welcome back from spring break. I hope the time was restful and rejuvenating. The week before spring break, principals and supervisors met with staff affected by the budget shortfall. Today, the entire staff was sent a letter updating them at a district level on where we are in the process as well. In collaboration with building principals in consultation with the OSEA and GBA leadership, district leadership, our strategy was to reduce positions through attrition, retirements, resignations, and temporary positions. To identify these reductions, we kept the big picture of the district in mind while knowing that individuals would feel the most significant impact. This strategy also required several staff members to be transferred to positions in other schools. There were 5 foci that we used to arrive at where we are this week. We first worked to find as many non-payroll reductions as possible. We meticulously reviewed our expenditures and carefully identified cuts to supplies, travel, professional development funds, and contractual services. Our goal was to reduce supplies and operating expenditures as much as possible before making any staff reductions. About 30% of the reductions, totaling $3 million, are from this work. Next week, specifics about these reductions will be shared with the staff as well. We next worked to identify reductions outside of the classroom. A third of the staff members affected were at the district level and 2/3 at the building level. All employee groups, administrative license, and classified experienced reductions. We prioritize safety. The third thing is we prioritize safety and students who need the most support, including emerging English learners and students with disabilities. We also ensured the continued employment of permanent employees, successfully avoiding a reduction in force for probationary and contract licensed employees. 4.5% of our employees were affected by prioritizing payroll expenditures in total. We were committed to the long-term financial stability of the GBSD as well, which is why we also aggressively work to prevent reductions next spring. Time will tell if we've been successful. I can't guarantee, but I do think we've made really good progress toward that. Looking toward the future, it's important to note that school districts throughout the state are facing similar budget challenges. Fortunately, we are in a more financially stable position than other places, but we're not immune. The costs for goods and services are expected to continue rising. Student enrollment is expected to trend slightly downward, and there is an uncertainty about future financial support at the federal level. Finding a balance between the district's immediate needs and positioning ourselves to operate within our means is imperative. Achieving this objective requires us to continue examining and implementing financial practices that build long-term financial resilience so that we can continue to inspire and empower our students and provide a desirable workplace that can recruit and retain the best teachers, classified, and administrative staff possible. To achieve our goals of balancing the budget, we must remain committed to implementing instructional models that deliver high-quality instruction to our students, continue to invest resources in supporting college and career development, prevention of dropouts, and career and technical education that increase graduation rates and post-secondary enrollment. Plan for curriculum adoptions that meet state standards that are culturally relevant and put the most recent materials in the hands of our students and teachers. Ensure that staff have access to professional development that supports curriculum adoption, quality instruction, and how to support our most impacted students. Continue work with the community and government partners to help students access mental health support. Finish our long-range facility planning and prioritize our capital construction needs. And if there's anybody out who's already volunteered for that committee, it's the next April is big, and we have a lot of people that have volunteered, which is great. And prepare for anticipated increased PERS and employee benefit rate increases. We know those are coming, and that'll be the big burden in the next biennium. Continue advocating for the quality education model so that we can achieve at least an average level of state support compared to the rest of the nation. The Gresham community has a history of facing challenges together, and I'm confident this will continue. Our students will continue to be at the center of our decisions, and our staff will continue to look for ways to innovate and improve. And thank you, Chair, for the time.
All right, thank you. Next up is updates from school board members. So David, want to go ahead and start?
When I ran for school board, my biggest concern was entrepreneurship, leadership, and finances. I think those were 3 things that a lot of the kids lack in teaching. I think when you go to school, in my mind, sometimes you're trained to be a worker bee, and the mind needs to be opened to other aspects of life. And not saying either are bad, but to give that education to do that. So Last year, we introduced the Dave Ramsey Education Foundation into the leadership class over at Cal. I kind of coerced the Gresham Rotary to pay for it, which was pretty awesome. And they were more than glad to do it. This last week, I got to speak at Cal in that class. I've spoken there before. I changed up my format a little bit and it was kind of cool, but I got to see the curriculum in action. I spoke about my life, my opportunities as an entrepreneur. And I just let the kids ask me anything they wanted, and it was pretty cool. The coolest thing was once class was over, I had about 7 students walk up to me and shake my hand and said, "This is one of the best class. This is one of the best times in school I've ever had, and I've learned a lot from you." And I did not expect that. So that was me.
Right? Yep, okay. We'll go down the end, Sean.
I, along with my family, went to the playoffs and the state championship game for Barlow. It was amazing. It was about 3/4 Barlow families to 1/4 Jesuit families, so it was rocking in there for the state championship. Spencer, I did get your poster signed by the Barlow team. I know you're watching. He actually does watch these meetings, so he'll be pretty stoked about that. He has that poster up on his wall already, and now he has the state championship autograph, so he'll be stoked. I was also able to watch some of the JV baseball games on our new turf fields, which are amazing. My son Spencer is doing both JBO baseball and a club team. He's pretty nuts, but he has had the opportunity to practice on that turf field, and it's been a great blessing. Seeing all 3 Barlow teams practice on it has been great. They're able to practice even in the rainiest of days, although I think there is some improvements that need to be made. But I've served on the MESD budget committee last night and next Tuesday. And then I also have been down in Salem advocating for us, and I'm happy to report that Senate Bill 936, which would have allowed the city of Portland to do a workaround to continue their work over there at the water filtration plant, has died. And so hopefully that work will stop or continue to stop. I've heard that even though there is reports that it has stopped, that there's still dump trucks and stuff going around. So I'm not quite sure what to believe. But yeah.
I too was at the state championship game. No quorum present. I don't think. I think Holly was there. No, she was not there. So see, it was just Sean and me, and we sat in different parts of the arena. So I got to see both the semi and the championship game, and I got all kinds of feelings, and I'm trying to keep them contained because it's not just about the basketball team that's gotten rightly well deserved and recognized. It's also about all of these students and just the process. And I know that this coming here and shaking our hands is the lowest on the spectrum of what matters to them in recognition. I'm under no delusions who we are or what it means. What I will tell you is to do this work appropriately, you hear a lot of the hard stuff that happens in our community that we all live with and through. And then you go to a stage, an arena, you go to a field, you go to a swim meet, which I got to see Powell swim in that one, first time I'd ever been to a swim meet. And you just see excellence, and you see excellence coming from kids that is remarkable. And it does, when you carry the weight of what this community expects of its schools and what our kids deserve. When you see kids get to explore what makes them passionate and do so well on such a high stage, it's really pretty spectacular. I needed that tonight, so I'm really grateful to all those families who showed up. I had sworn that I had not sworn. that would have been foolish because I would have been wrong. I was fairly certain that I would not run for another another term on the board. 8 years is a long time to be doing this. I feel it. I will tell you that it's that getting to witness kids doing excellent things that took me to the Multnomah County Elections Office. No matter how you feel about that, nobody else stepped up, so I'm really sorry if you feel bad about that. But I will tell you, I did submit my voter statement, and I would just tell Mr. Hickman, it's not just your testimony that said how important middle school sports is. I'm hanging my hat on that. I would tell you what a job my colleagues, Dr. Farens, Holly, and how universal the support of that program was to this board. I'm not speaking on behalf of the board, I'm speaking on me, but I can tell you, if you look at my voters pamphlet statement there, it's one of the big ones to hang a hat on. And again, your testimony was outstanding, but I'm hearing it from the kids and families. That's where I'm hearing it from. I hear what an impact it's making to them. And so thank you for coming tonight. Wondering. Yeah, I think that, a wonderful back to Barlow or Barlow introduction night last night. A lot of enthusiastic kids there. The level of programming that's available to our students at both Gresham High School and Barlow is unbelievable. And Springwater Trail, the pathways that are available to our kids and is unlike anything that I experienced when I graduated as well. So anyway, great job, district staff. We are in it with you to find the right solutions for our kids, even in tough environments. Excited to serve 4 more years with you.
All right, thank you. So what does that mean for my 25 years, Blake?
I don't know.
I'm just a babe. I'm just a babe. So, it was, I had to kind of think about some of the things. I had to check my calendar because there were so many cool things that we did. We had a school improvement plan session out at Gordon Russell where we met with the principals. We had groups that each board member was assigned to some groups, and we had an overview of what was going on. And I just wanted to say how much I appreciated the time and effort that went into planning that. And especially the thing that was probably the best part of it for me was the consistent format of the presentation so that I could look at it and compare across, not compare, but see where the information was and not have to try and interpret where it was depending on which school it was. So I thought it was a very good conversation. I realized it was a late day for many of the people that were there. And I thought it was something that was well done and worthwhile. So I deeply appreciate that. Headed out to Hall Elementary next week to do a project with the kids. I'm kind of excited about that. I'm not going to say anything more about it because if it works, I'll tell you about it. If it doesn't, it never happened. I'm really excited about it though. I'm headed to a school board training conference. I'll be gone for a couple of days for that. And Sean mentioned a little bit, but I just wanted to remind people as well, they've made it much easier to testify for and against bills in Salem. They have a very good online vehicle to do that. It's quick, it's easy. You get confirmation that you've actually submitted something. And that is a nice way. If you can't get down to Salem for the 10 minutes that you might get on a list to be able to testify for something, you can put that in at any time. It tells you how soon it has to be in, so it's ahead of the deadline. But being able to do that was absolutely most wonderful. Let's see, I think that might be, oh, no, the other thing, because this came up, we were out at Cal and had the Diversity Equity Committee, is that what it's called? DEC. And the presentation was great. We had students and community members that were there, a lot of really good conversation. Because of the size of the number of people that were there, we moved upstairs, which was where they have the fabric crafting room. I need to go back and visit that. I helped set that up several years ago when they were first getting it started. There was really some amazing things that they're doing, very creative work that they're doing up there. And I would like to go and pay a professional visit in my role as being a fabric enthusiast. So I would love to be able to go and visit that as well. So otherwise, we're cruising into what feels like already the end of the school year, but we got a little bit more to go. So stay focused, stay here. You're back from spring break. You're all rested and ready to go. So let's get on with the agenda. Next up, we have the Gresham Arthur Academy Public Charter School Annual Report. Come on down. Good evening. Let's see.
Carla's name, but she's.
Yeah. Who's gonna read it?
So we have Arthur Academy here for their annual reports. We have Candace Burton and Stephanie Walker here to present to us today, and welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, board. You should have gotten our core performance framework with all of our annual report stuff. I believe in February is when it was submitted. And Matt Wallace told me to be really quick, so I'm only going to give you. He's timing me. So I'm just going to give you some highlights since you already have all the details. First, who we are. We're a charter school. We use the unique method of direct instruction. So it's focuses on incremental mastery-based learning delivered through a series of meticulously planned programs. These are scripted programs, so our teachers have a consistent language, not only throughout the school year, but from K through 5. So students really succeed the most when they're with us that entire time for sure. And we believe it's a powerful tool that is not being utilized in district schools, which is why you guys have entered into a charter with us. Our mission is that every single student, regardless of anything else, will become a fluent reader and will master the academic and intellectual skills necessary to succeed at the next level of schooling. And we hope to do that with our core values in everything we do, that we're a place where students, staff, and families are valued and respected, honoring diverse cultures and experiences. We work together to provide a safe, welcoming environment in which all students thrive and love to learn. As I mentioned, kind of the difference is our model, but also our really small community. So we use DI for core subjects, and then we do collaborative learning, project learning, groups in other content areas such as social studies, science, health, safety, those kinds of things. And then we have a robust SEL curriculum with an SEL specialist to kind of guide us through that. And then with our small community, we have 1 class per grade. Our families get to know each other really well. And so they're able to learn from each other, which is really nice. We have an active parent organization, and our students know each other across grades too. We do monthly buddy days, and it's really great to see them absolutely adore their K3, 1, 4, and 2, 5 buddies. Our enrollment. By charter, we have a max enrollment of 180, which is 30 per class. Our current enrollment is 161, and that is for a number of reasons. We had several students come in at 3rd grade, 4th grade, and 2nd grade, and typically when students are coming to us in grades that are not K1, they are behind academically. That's typically a trend, and so we only have the resources that we have. And so to help those students get to grade level and succeed, we can't always hit our 180 as much as we would love to. Our current wait list is 99 students for this current school year. And then I believe your guys' packet might show 168 applications currently. This is the updated as of this morning is 175 for the incoming fall. We have limited space and staff, so we do what we can, because also with those lower academics, we need more small groups, and we don't have the people or the space for that. So anyway, that's why we are not at our 180 as much as we would love to be. And I always get asked how many are out of district students. So currently we have 18 out of district students. 7 of them are new this year in those upper grades, which that's typically where we would get out of district students, because our wait lists are smaller in the upper grades. So we would go through our in-district, and then typically people don't want to leave mid-year. And so that's where we would get our out of district. And then 9 of those 18 were originally in the Gresham-Barlow School District and have since moved out, but continued with us. Yeah, and so that's kind of where those 18 are. All right. Okay, our results, you guys have this in the information too, our ELA and math percentage of passing by grade. It's always interesting to compare because we also have small classes and this is our entire school and so it's one class. But you can see that we do pretty well. I'm hoping that this year, that third grade class from last year, we've put a lot of focus on them in their math, that they will go up this next year as fourth graders. So that's one that we definitely have an eye on. All right, how am I doing, Matt? 4 minutes, okay. We have 3 main areas that we've been focusing in on, 2 that I talked about last year as well, the first being attendance. So obviously we can't teach if students are in our seats, and that's super important, not just for their academics, but just their overall well-being. And I talked about those national surprise national days. That has been a hit. We do 2 or 3 a month. And sometimes right before we leave that day, I said, there may or may not be a national day tomorrow. And you're guaranteed that people are coming tomorrow. So it's just completely random things. Last week, today was National Children's Picture Book Day. So we were able to read a picture book in each story or in each class, and just fun little things. And then increased communication, lightening absentee workload on teachers, not having them grade and correct things that don't matter. And then we're happy that at the end of last year, we increased our percentage of regular attenders, which regular attenders are those who are 90% or higher in class throughout the school year, increased by 14.5%. So we were up to 85.5% from the year before. And currently we're at 91%. And that's much closer to our pre-COVID 94, 96% that we would typically have. So with a lot of work, that's working. Another big area of focus has been SPED collaboration. And there's been a lot of increased efforts to just provide transparency and understanding of the whole SPED process. We've been having monthly meetings, actually just today, with Donna and her team. So we're really grateful for that. And then we also have had kind of an alignment meeting. We've had the academic one, and we still need to do a behavior one with district leaders to see how, when we submit a referral for an special education, how that looks and what they're looking for and what that looks like within our program, because a lot of schools use direct instruction for a specially designed instruction, so it gets a little muddy. So anyway, but that has gone a lot better. I feel like we've made big improvements. Yeah, so thank you, Donna, and your team. And then the third, shocking, I know, funding. That has been a huge one. As much as we're proud of all that we're able to accomplish, it's not enough. Our kids deserve more. Currently, if you're not in the know of how charter schools are funded, we get pretty much the state school grants. That being said, we do get SIA grants and early literacy grants, but we don't have access to facilities funding, which is 10% of our general funds budget. And then no access to transportation, and we can't bond pension rates for PERS in the same way that districts can. So all of that is coming from our very tiny little budget, and 76% of our budget is staffing. A recent study found that over the last 10 years, 48%, that charter schools dropped to 48% of their district-run counterparts for their funding, when in 2013 it was 63%. So the gap just keeps widening of how much our students are getting compared to a student at a neighborhood school. I'm sure that you guys got our letter, I think it was last month, about the increase of funding that we would request. We would also be happy to do an incremental increase, like 85 next year and then 90. That essentially currently in that letter, it showed that currently we get 8,375 per student, and an 85 would be 8,899 per student. And I know that you guys are struggling financially too. We all are, and it's a lot for our tiny little school. So I also did hear you, Chair Howitt, about April 9th at Cal Partnership. We're already talking about it. and neither of us can be there that night. So is there a way to submit testimony or something for that?
I think so. Because I remember last year that you were there, because I think I sat at your table last year.
I think that was for something else, because I was at your table, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember what it was for.
It was for the school improvement plan.
Oh,
They-
okay.
Or whatever they called it at the time.
Yeah, I'm
So,
talking about
budget, but
Yeah,
budget
yeah.
committee, yeah, sorry.
Can written testimony be
Think so.
submitted prior and we put it in?
So I will confirm that.
Thank you.
Because that would be great, because we
I
were
got
like,
confused
oh, we
there for a
didn't know
minute.
about
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, and I would just put it out there preemptively that districts do not always do a flat percentage for all their charter schools. So saying yes to one doesn't mean you say yes to all of them. So just throwing that out there. We appreciate your consideration and our 18-year partnership. I can't even believe it's been 18 years. I've been here for half of them. So yeah, thank you. Any questions? How'd I do? Wait, Matt, what'd I do?
Go ahead. So we've got two down here. We've got Sean and we've got, now we're gonna blow it with the board's gonna ask questions and it's gonna make it too long. So, Sean, go ahead.
I'll make sure to talk really slowly, ask a very big question. I appreciate your partnership for 18 years. That's awesome. There's been a lot of kids that have come through your program that are able to read and write, when they may not have been able to without your program. My question regarding the funding piece, I don't know if it's directed at you or Dennis or somebody, but the transportation funding, have you done research to see if that's if field trips are reimbursable, and if so, are charter school field trips reimbursable?
I don't know through Gresham how they're doing that.
Did you hear that? We're not sure through Gresham. Like, how, do you want to tell us what
So
Portland does?
Sean, we can't reimburse ourselves as charter schools, but we can through the district. So that is something that we were talking to leadership about, being able to access some of those field trip busing transportation funds for sure. But we can't directly access those rates.
So then maybe it's a question, I don't know if it's federal or Oregon or there's
Yeah.
somebody that we go through that it's not every dollar that we get reimbursed for, but 70% for
Right.
stuff that we get reimbursed. So my question would be is it just as easy as us submitting for reimbursement and or not? So that's a research question. We don't need an answer tonight.
Yeah.
But that's just my question.
Yep.
Yeah, for a field trip, it's like $900 to get a bus to go anywhere.
Okay, Blake.
Yeah, I think my question was, Sean got the first one, and I think the other thing I'd add to just kind of a follow-up request from me to the superintendent and team is, if that pass-through is eligible, is it eligible for non-GBSD students who are through the charter school as well? That would be my other question. I would imagine it would be, but it'd be a question. I had a question that, if you're not prepared to answer, it's okay, but on your attendance rate, how much, do you have any idea what your kindergarten rate is, of regular attenders?
Not by kindergarten, but I will look at it and I will email you.
I'm curious, because if I recall, that's kind of where our regular attendance rate in the K through 5 tends to be lower. And so I'm curious how the program's connecting with families at that age specifically. Then last question is, this is a really unfair question, but as you gauge like folks who apply to the program, how much of that is, are folks keenly aware of what direct instruction is? Is that what's driving that? Or is it, hey, my friend's child is doing really well and I'd like.
That is a very fair question and one we would like to know. We have been much more intentional the last couple of years because for the last few years, we've had a group of kids. The only reason we have kids coming in the upper grades is because some are leaving, right? And some of that is like, this is not what we thought it was going to be. And so we've been doing preview nights and saying, hey, this is what it looks like. This is what it sounds like. We have videos showing what direct instruction is, just to make sure that they understand. We actually have a preview. We just did our lottery and we have a preview night coming up for that. I think it's honestly a mixture of both.
But the actual students that apply, when we look at if they they can select, how did you hear about us? And the majority of our students, most of them, it's either friends or family or a internet search is what we're seeing. Yeah.
Okay, good. So I would recommend, because I've been out to visit you guys, and it was quite an experience because I didn't specifically know what direct instruction was. Very high energy. So David, I would suggest you go out and take a visit out there. I think you would like it. And it was a lot of fun. And I did appreciate how much work you guys have done out there to create your space. I know when it first started, because I was there when you guys first started, that there was a lot of having to share the space with the facility and how to make sure that your space was school centric and not engaged with the rest of the facility. And so you guys have done a very nice job with that, to have a space that feels like school for the kids. And but again, it's a very high energy visit, and a lot of stuff happens, and it's worth a visit out there.
Sorry, one more. Do you participate in any kind of standard testing metrics related to reading skills?
Yeah, so the OSA test in the results
One you
section.
just showed.
Yeah,
Okay.
that is the state testing that
Okay.
everyone does. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you do Dibbles or Star 360, anything like that?
Yeah, we do easy CBM is what we do for all grades. Yep.
Any more questions by the board? No? Thank you for coming this evening. Appreciate
you.
the input, and
Thank you.
hopefully you'll get some board members will come visit you.
Yeah, any are welcome to come, and I will get you that information about kindergarten.
Yeah, come visit and see 5-year-olds read. It's amazing.
Chair
Thank
Howard,
you.
I would just, it's a worthy agenda topic to talk about charter compensation and rates. I don't think we've talked about it as a board, and I would like to propose that as a upcoming agenda item.
Thank you,
guys.
Next up is a recess. We already had it. We got it early, so you'll just have to remember that you had it. It was wonderful. Next up is, we just have a couple of reports here that are the Board Goals Committee. And I don't think there was anything, it has your name on it, Tracy, but was there anything that you wanted to add to that, or just read the report? And then same thing with the District Equity Committee meeting minutes. And Dr. Jackson, did you have, I saw you earlier. She's not here. Okay, so the reports are in there, so we can read those. Next up is the association reports, and GBEA. Apparently, you have 3 minutes and 32 seconds to beat the world record and how long it's going to be. So either
right.
going to be 3:32 or you're going to be 27 minutes. Either
I hear
way.
this, Mike. Oh, my goodness, you weren't wrong. That is, I'm already loud voiced. That's impressive. Just really quickly, so I hope that you enjoyed the good natured back and forth with Candace and I, just off the record. Candace and my daughter both came up in theater together, starting about 12 or 13 years ago, and they both continued that track. Candace's daughter went on to do a touring troupe with some theater stuff, and my daughter's wrapping up her theater education major at Western Oregon here in about 2 months. So it's always fun to have that opportunity to interact. And she did notice that I had circled. I jokingly told her I circled it on the agenda, that would be the longest part of the agenda, would be her presentation. And she thought I was kidding. And she walked by and she saw that I had it circled. And so she was like, "You weren't kidding. You really did circle that time." I said, "Yes, I did." Anyways, that was that back and forth. We've known each other for quite a while. Before I do get into our official report, I did want to take a moment we had a lot of awesome recognitions tonight, recognizing some amazing athletes that have accomplished some incredible things. And the last time I was here and had the opportunity to share with you all, I talked a little bit about Oregon Battle of the Books. It's not part of my official presentation tonight, but I did want to update you on that. It went wonderfully. Again, we had 16 schools from 4 different school districts kind of throughout the region that came in to East Gresham on March 15th to do this fantastic battle. And again, the kids take this on themselves. They have to read 16 books. They quiz one another. They really dig in. Oftentimes they're kind of left to their own to their own teams to kind of make sure that they're prepared and ready. This year was awesome. We had 3 teams from Gresham-Barlow that competed: Kelly Creek Elementary, Hogan Cedars Elementary, and then East Gresham as well. They all did wonderfully. What's also is really cool is we had several of our district level coaches volunteer for the day to be moderators at the battles. So after working a full week and then putting in hours beyond their day, they came in on a Saturday from 8 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon to moderate these battles. And I also want to publicly acknowledge our district librarian, Thomas Mall, that put in countless hours to make sure that this was organized and went off without a hitch. And then one of our coaches, Jessica Mim, that also helped work with me to coordinate that. And it was just fantastic. And I hope that we have the opportunity to host that again next year. Again, I know there was the mention of the middle school programs, which we love bringing families into our buildings, 300 or 400 people. I think we probably had 500 people cycle through the building at East Gresham on Saturday. Also, I should shout out Chris Christerian, our custodian, who last minute custodian canceled, and Chris came in and was there all day after working a full week, and he was just amazing. So I just wanted to make sure that I got that in before my official report from the GEA. That's my own little. I'm sorry, what? And so part of it, thank you. I actually had a note. Yes. So again, this year with bringing in new buildings, we leaned into the Gresham Barlow Education Foundation, and we'll be looking to them again next year to purchase sets of books. Thank you, Tracy, for that reminder. To again continue to support Oregon Battle of the Books at more of our elementary schools. So that was pretty fantastic. That really helped bring Hogan Cedars and Kelly Creek into the fold, not having to worry about that expense at the building level. All right, now the official statement. Thank you and good evening, Chair Howard, members of the board, and Interim Superintendent Cook. As always, I appreciate the opportunity to speak on behalf of the GBA and its members. The association values and appreciates the time you invest for the students and families in the Gresham community. As you are aware, we're living in turbulent and challenging times, and now more than ever, it's critical that we support public education, not just financially, but with our voices and our actions. Ensuring that students develop critical thinking skills and the freedom to become informed, independent thinkers is essential to their success and the strength of our communities. Each of us plays a crucial role in ensuring that happens. We have to use our collective voices to ensure our students don't lose theirs. Of course, money is still important. The lack of stable and adequate funding for our schools, which, as you are aware, has led to some devastating budget cuts, makes this task increasingly difficult. While we appreciate the district's ongoing communication regarding these reductions, we still have pressing questions and look forward to meeting with district leadership to better understand the deep cuts made across so many of our buildings. Cuts that will have severe and lasting effects, particularly on our most vulnerable students. It is our hope that we can stand together. The GBEA, the OSEA, district administration, and the school board to advocate for adequate state funding and to uphold the protections that allow our students to be who they are and to reach their fullest potential. Now is the time to unite in our commitment to ensuring every student has the opportunity to be their authentic selves and thrive, not just in the Gresham community, but wherever their path leads them. Thank you.
Thank you. OSEA, Tia?
Thank you, Chair Howard, but I'm actually going to pass tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for being here this evening. We appreciate you being here. Thank you. And it's your birthday. It's your birthday. Who forgot the flowers? Me. I forgot the flowers. They're coming in the mail. Let me get to that page. Should have taken that break. So next up, we have a couple of action items, and the first one is the Technical Assistance Program called TAP for the Seismic Assessment Grant. And this has Dennis Clegg on it, and we have the information in here. It's quite an interesting application. But Dennis, if you want to step us through this a little bit.
Thank you, Chair Howe, members of the board. In December, this past December, the district applied for a TAP grant through ODE for seismic assessment of buildings, working with former Superintendent Hugh, Director DuBois, and Director Terry Taylor. We identified West Gresham as a potential candidate for this, having a lot to do with the roof and the structure of the building and the age of the building. So we submitted an application to the ODE TAP group, and we are awarded $25,000 in funding to work with a local architect firm to prepare an evaluation of the building and develop an application that will be submitted for a seismic refit grant, which could be in the up to the amount of $2.5 million that would renovate the seismic stability of that building, including the structure and the roof. So we ask for your approval of that grant.
So this will be an action item. Are there clarifying questions for Mr. Clegg before we move? Okay, Blake, go ahead.
Does this grant require a match?
It does not.
Does the grant allow use for, I know that the West Gresham building is very difficult ADA requirements. Is it only seismic, or can we do other things that are part of that remodel?
If they can be tied to the seismic retrofit, they can be done. We would just have to say, how that works with a seismic retrofit.
I would think at least at some point, being able to get out of the building in the event of, could be an ADA requirement. It's pretty difficult to get out of that building. So go ahead.
Recognizing that this wouldn't come back before the board because of the contract limits, is $25,000 sufficient for an architect to be able to do this work? Or do you expect that we will have to commit additional funds?
Right now, we haven't determined that yet. Some firms will do them with that amount in mind, $25,000, basically to try and generate the work that would come after that. In my past experience, generally it's around $25,000 to get the evaluation, to have the architecture firm go in and just evaluate the building and the structure.
So previously, when we were looking at whether or not we would add any work to West Gresham, when we were looking at the capital bond, we did some of that work as well. Is any of that available to be used, or is it all new?
No, that can be used as well. We can provide that to the architectural firms. They will have that as the base of information and then develop from that.
All right, so this does require a motion to accept the, to move. So I have a clarification about this. So we're moving to accept the grant, but we haven't actually gotten the grant. So is it, we have received the $2.5 million grant already now, or we've received the 20. So what is it that we're making a motion on? Accepting the grant. Okay, I'm just making sure because there were multiple numbers in here, and I'm just making sure what it is that we are doing. So
Yeah, I'll move to, well, hope I don't fail you. Move to accept the Technical Assistance Program Seismic Assessment Grant for West Gresham Elementary School for $25,000.
Second.
So it's been moved by Blake, seconded by Sean, to accept the Technical Assistance Program, referred to as TAP, Seismic Assessment Grant for West Gresham Elementary School in the amount of $25,000. All right, any further discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? Dr. Klinger. Next up, we have the integrated grants renewal. We had quite a presentation on that at the last work session, a very good, robust conversation. So I will let you just fill in the blanks up.
Yeah, thank you. We are in the process of renewing that grant, and the next step is your approval for us to submit our grant application. So we did provide lots of information at our work session in March. I have not received any additional questions. So we are looking for approval to submit the grant, and then once we receive the grant, then there is more follow-up that does happen with the board in terms of the longitudinal growth performance targets and other aspects of it. But the first step is to submit our application. There are not a lot of changes to our application. We did add one more strategic goal around early literacy because the early literacy grant is new since our last application, and so that's now a part of the integrated grants, including SIA, Measure 98, Perkins, and some others. So
this is an action item. Any further clarification or Holly?
I would move to approve the integrated grants renewal application for the Gresham-Barlow School District.
All right, so it's been moved by Holly, seconded by Blake to approve the integrated grants renewal application for the Gresham-Barlow School District. Any further discussion? Okay, go ahead, Blake.
Would there be a reason not to have the application included in publicly available material? Is there
there's a
concern?
requirement that it will be posted on the website.
Oh, okay, perfect. You probably said that.
Our presentation gets attached, as does our application.
Okay, maybe that presentation could be added into this agenda item after this, just so we have, can reference it.
It's in a March work session, but we could attach it to this.
Oh, I see. Okay. It's late, Tracy.
I get it.
It's late.
All right, so there being no further questions about this, but so that Sarah doesn't yell at me, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you. Is there anything I'm gonna have to sign for that? I don't know. Next up, and this has got whose name? Superintendent Cook. School year calendars for the 2025 to 2028 school years. Mr. Cook.
Thank you, Chair. This is the annual adoption of 3 years out. It's more to help families with planning in the long term, vacations, et cetera. They can be amended over time, but this is the annual spring 3-year adoption of moving forward. There was a question brought forward because this is a new conundrum that we will take to the labor and management groups, that Juneteenth not next year, the year after, it's on a Saturday, so the holiday is on a Friday. It will force a work day to the following week, so we need to discuss that with the labor groups too. Is it a student day? That's not helpful.
Yes, it is a school day. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because when I looked at the calendar, I didn't assume school day, so thank you for the email. So we will have, there may not be students there that day, so we will talk through that with the labor groups as well, because they're part of the calendar process, so thank you for pointing that out. It
So
is a
that's in
conundrum.
the 26-27 school year?
That is correct.
Okay, so we got a little bit of time. For
We
that.
do.
And that sounds like that's gonna actually be somebody else's problem.
It may be delegated to somebody else as well.
Blake.
Oh,
I've got a question. I'm all for approving the 25-26 school year, but should we pull the 26-27 until there's negotiations done?
I don't think we have to, because we can bring it back to you if we need to make a change and let you know. I mean, if you wanted, I think that's a board prerogative, but I don't think we have to. Mhm.
Yeah, this just gets a 3-year cycle so that it allows the testing of the dates like that, making sure. So doing it in the block is a consistent, but it definitely will be a priority thing to get that straightened out, I'm sure. Any other questions about it? We do not have a motion yet. I didn't write anything down.
I'll move to approve the 2025-26, 2026-27, and 2027-28 school year calendars as presented.
Been moved by Blake, seconded by David to approve the 3-year calendar starting with 2025-26, 26-27, and 27-28. Are there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you. And I don't remember when we started doing this, but I know that it did help being able to plan further out, mostly around times when families were not, so that they could plan times when they would be off as well. So, okay, information items. We have a monthly financial report that's in our packet, and typically the board reads these. Is there anything that you want to highlight for us, Mr. Clark?
Chair Howard, I would like to address a question that came up during one member's review of the packet. There are some lines that show a negative variance to budget. Predominantly, they are in transportation services and in charter school payments. Transportation services are accelerating, the rate is accelerating quicker than we had anticipated. And so we are looking at ways to adjust that, and we'll most likely bring a supplemental budget or a budget adjustment in June to adjust for that. The other one is the charter school payments because of the increased enrollment in MIWA and a change, a mid-year change in the per pupil allocation rate by the state. The charter school payments are accelerating faster than we anticipated. So we will look to adjust those, and through savings in right now payroll areas that we anticipate to have, we should be able to offset that. So I just wanted to bring that to the board's attention.
Okay, Blake, go ahead.
Thank you, Dennis. The question I would have is, and maybe it's too early to answer, but yeah, maybe we could get clarification when the budget is presented, whether the budget assumes that supplemental action or not. To the, like, if there's an ending fund balance effect, whether the budget that we're going to look at for next school year assumes future board action on a supplemental item. Does that? Okay.
Does that make sense to me?
The budget that we're presenting includes adjustments for those two areas, so that we are adjusting based on the current rates, not necessarily budgets or anything. So we are anticipating an increase significantly in transportation and a smaller increase in the charter school payments in the proposed budget.
So are you expecting that the supplemental action that we might need to take is out of like a contingency, or are you expecting just simply transferring amongst funds?
We anticipate just doing the transferring. It may, if we continues to grow at the current rate, it may touch contingency a little bit, but the anticipation is that transfers within other areas and functions should be able to offset most of that.
Thank you. That's there. Oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't see down there. Okay, Dave.
Just for clarification, the threshold in the general fund, we've spoken between 5% and 8%. Does that bring that below?
No, for this year, no, that the budget is right now as a contingency or a ending fund balance right now projected at little over 14 million, which is above the 8% for this year's budget.
Sorry, next year, do we anticipate?
Next year's budget yes, it is that numbers that were presented at the budget 101, where we are projecting a ending fund balance percent of around 7.1%, which is under the 8% threshold.
All right, so I believe, yeah, is that good? Okay. I believe we're at the end of the meeting, right? Okay, we made it. All right, announcements. April 9th, we've mentioned it several times, Budget Committee meeting at 7 p.m. in the Partnership Room, Center for Advanced Learning. I think the question was asked earlier, but can people go ahead and submit testimony for the budget through some mechanism, or do they have to wait and do it somehow related to that night? How can they do that ahead of time?
I believe they can, but I will confirm that and let Superintendent.
Okay, and there is a budget link on the Gresham-Barlow School District website under the Business Services section. April 16th, the board has a work session at 6 p.m. in the Partnership Room Center for Advanced Learning. April 23rd, we have our second Budget Committee meeting at 7 p.m. in the Partnership Room Center for Advanced Learning. And May 7th will be our regular board business meeting back in this chamber at 7 p.m. in the council chambers of the Public Safety and Schools building. And with, really? Wow, okay, well, I can stretch it a little bit. Anybody got a song and dance? No? All right. With that, we'll be adjourned at 8:45. Thank you.